Hello, hello everybody. In this video, I will explain SPSS for beginners or how this software can be used for or by the first time users. Indeed, if you think that you are a researcher and you don't know how to use SPSS, meaning that you are not. Therefore, it's the suitable time to know how this software can be used. So, first of all, I will explain some slides related to SPSS. After that, we will move on to run the software. I think the first time user think, thinks, what does this term mean? SPSS means Statistical Package for Social Sciences, and it's one of the most common used software in the world, as it's used by researchers in many fields. Originally, it's a statistical package for social sciences, and it's one of the most popular statistical package which can perform highly complex data manipulation and analysis with simple instructions. How we can open the software? We go to Start, All Programs, then we click on the software and easily it will be opened. This software has two screens. One screen, the first one called Data Editor, and the second one is the output screen. So let us talk about the first one, which is Data Editor. Data Editor has two sheets. The first sheet called Data View and the other one called Variable View. In the Data View, you can enter your values, while in the Variable View, it will be used to give a name for your variable. We will see how we can use that. Here is the Data View. You can enter your variables. For example, let's see here the first variable is finished, the second variable is product type, evaluation, etc. And here is in the data editor we can see the other variables. For the variable name, here you can give a name for your variable and the type of your variable, either it's a string or numeric, and here the width, and here we can see the label. You can give a label for your variable, and here the value. Actually, the value option, it can be used when we build a dummy variable that takes two digits like 1 and 0, 1 for male and 0 for female. Here we give 1 and we give it a label which means male. And here it's the missing value. You can see if you have any missing value before you run the software. Here when you give a name for your variable, the name must be less than 64 characters. Otherwise, it will not be saved. And normally you have to put the first character as a capital, and you cannot use space when you enter or when you give your variable a name. Otherwise, it will be rejected by the software. And here, as we explained, the type of your variable. It can be either numeric or string. Here the width, which determine the number of characters that will be accepted by the software. Here is the decimals. Number of decimals must be less or equal 16. Here you can see. Here is the label, and here is the value. It can be used when we deal with dummy variables. In my next videos, I will explain how we can build a dummy variable with two values, such as male and female when we talk about gender, and this type of variables will be used when we have in our studies demographic variables. Here you can see, we click on this option and you will get the value label sheet. In the value square you can put a number, and here is the label. Then we click add to add your value. Here is the output screen. When you run a test, here you can see your results, and you can save your results, as well as you can export it in a Word file to be saved on your desktop. How would you put the following information into the SPSS? Actually, you have two options. The first one is to enter your information, and the second one will be used when you have your data already existed on your desktop. You can easily import your data through clicking on file. We will explain that as well. And here you can save your data which you entered for the first time, or which you imported but you have done some editing. Here you can see file, edit, view, data. You can define your variables, you can sort cases, and here transform, you can compute your variables. But the most important option is analyze, which will be used when you run your tests, and here graphs and so on. Now I think it's the best time to move on to open the software, then to start running our tests. In this video, as it focuses on the first time users, I will explain how we can import our data and how we can run the descriptive tests and how we can compute variables, and in my coming videos we will continue. As we have explained previously, we go to start, then all programs, but actually I have it already because I used it before. It can be found here. We click enter. It takes some seconds, so you have to be patient. Here we can see, here is the output screen, and here is the data editor screen. As we elaborated before, it's with two sheets. The first sheet is data view, where we can enter the value of our variables, and here variable view, where we can give names for our variables, or we can give values when we deal with dummy variables. As we explained before, we have two options to enter our data. Either we can enter our data, for example, or for example, let us try this method. I'm going to give any number just to let you know. Here you can see the variable name. There is no obvious name, so we have to move to variable view sheet, and here we can give a name. For example, cat. So when we go to data view, we can see that the name of our variable was updated. And here we will clear and move on to the second option or second method, which is to import our data which is already existed on our desktop. We click here, or we can click on file, then import data. It's the same, there is no difference. Here you can choose this option if your data is already saved in SPSS format. But if it's saved in Excel format, you have to choose this option, or all files for any format. I will type the name of my file, which is Oxford State New. Then we click open. Here we go to data view to make sure that we have imported our data. Here you can see year, month, market capitalization to GDP, general stock index, Iraqi war, earning per share, dividend, yield ratio. Here is the name of my variables, as you can see. And here is my dummy, which takes 0 and 1. I will explain in my coming videos how we can build a dummy variable. And here we go to variable view. For example, if I want to change the name of this variable, any name, month, let it be. It's an existed variable because I have the same name, which is month here. So I got error. Let it be month. Okay. So now the name of my variable was changed. And now let's see how we can enter a new variable. For example, here you can give it a name. You can see your name. So if you go to data view, let's see the new variable. It's here but without data. You can enter your data easily here. If you want to remove this one, just click clear. And here, for example, if we want to enter values for our dummy variable, which is here, we click here. In this dummy variable, we have two values, which is 0 and 1. For example, I will tell the software that the 1 value relates to male, then click add, while the 0 variable relates to female, then click add, then OK. How to make sure that our dummy variable was categorized? We go to data view, then to our dummy here. There is no one. The one is outside the variable. So if we have change this one, then we go to variable view, then dummy, then click OK. Now we have told the software that the 1 relates to male while the 0 relates to female. Then we run our test. Here we can see file, new to open a new data file, and open to open data, import data. Here a new sheet to start with a new sheet. Here you can save your data. Here you can export your data into the Excel format and Spss, Stata or other format. Here edit, undo or redo, cut, copy, it's normal options. And here view data, you can define your variables, transform. Let us see this option, how we can compute our variables. I'm going to compute this one, move it here, plus that one, move it here. Then we have to give a new name for our targeted variable, BP for example. Then we click OK. How to make sure if our new variable was created? We go to data view, and here you can see BP, which is our result. You can clear it by click here. And here is the most important option we have to focus on, which will be used in order to run all our tests. Here you can see report, descriptive statistics, tables, compare means, general linear model, generalized linear model, mixed models, correlate. It can be used to run your correlation test to see whether the independent variable is associated with the dependent one. Here is the regression, linear regression, and other linear regression tests. This one, it can be used to measure whether the increase in the dependent variable was caused by an increase in the independent one. And here the log linear. So we will explain how to run these tests on the coming videos, but in this video we will start by elaborating how we can run the descriptive test. Here you can find frequencies, descriptives. Let's try this option. Here you have to move the variables you want to be included in your test. Actually, it's complex to move each variable separately, so there is another way, which is click Ctrl Shift, then move down, and here you can select all your targeted variables together. Then we move them here, then we click OK, and here easily you can see on the result screen or output screen your test has been done perfectly. Here in the descriptive statistics you can see n, which is the number of your observation. Here according to this data the number of observation is 336. Here is the minimum value, maximum value for this variable, which is the capitalization to GDP, and here is the mean, and here standard deviation. So what I have to do if I want to display additional statistics like variances and other tests, we go here to analyze descriptive test, then we go here and we click on options, Here I choose variance if I want this test to be displayed, and range, and here is the kurtosis sequence. Then we click continue, then we click OK, and here you can see the new results. Let's see for the earning per share variable. Here is n, which is number of observation, and here is the range statistics, minimum, maximum, mean statistics, standard error, standard deviation, variances, sequence, kurtosis, and by this way we have included all the needed tests. So I think if you focus on this video and you are a first time user, it will be easy for you to know how to enter your data or to run the descriptive test. But in the coming video I will explain how to enter the data which relates to a questionnaire. For example, just I want to let you know this information. If we are going to analyze data that we collected through a questionnaire tool, here you can see general index variable. Each row is a questionnaire, one questionnaire, while each column is one variable. So wait me on the coming videos, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.